Hail, 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 hail to the primal light. Hail to the true light. Hail to the light throughout the ages. Hail, 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 hail to the transparent light. Hail to the light without beginning nor end. Hail, 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 hail to the primal light. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. Hail to the primal light, our primal light self. We are inside of a dream. The world is a dream of Aten Ra. She is our primal light self. Um, Her sub replicas is the world, and we are inside of her dream or duality self, which is Supreme Ra. Is her consciousness is dreaming of the world, and we are Aten Ra baby self, and we have entered inside of her dream. So we are the baby self. So the way the world is happening is that the self is fragmenting itself and making replicas of itself to be the duality. And at the same time, the self is exploring the world as the baby self, which is ourself in the world right now, in the human body. And so we are the self that is at this baby stage, which we are exploring the world, and we are not in awareness of ourselves. I am in awareness of myself, but at one point in time, I was not in awareness of myself. And so this is what. So hail, hail to our self supreme self, primal light self, Aten Ra, who is the world, but our duality self. Hail, 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 hail to our primal light self, our self, the manifest primal light self. The manifest primal light self is the parent self to primal light self, Aten Ra. She is the baby self to self manifest. And in the primal light self, we are exploring the world fragmented. The masculine aspect of the self is exploring separately from the feminine aspect. The feminine is the non duality, and the masculine is exploring in as the duality. So this is how we are exploring in the world by fragmenting ourselves, and we are exploring the world in so many different aspects of the duality. Hail, hail, hail to self manifest primal light self. Hail, hail, hail to our primal light self, the void. Sorry, hail to our primal light self, the unmanifest. Our primal light self, the unmanifest, is the fragmented self, the shattered self from the self atom. And this is how we get to explore the world with our masculine aspect of the self, separated from the feminine aspect of the self. The consciousness on all of the self is exploring separated. The light is separated, and the light gets turned off, and this is how we are in the duality. And so hail, hail to our unmanifest primal self, primal light self. Hail, hail, hail to our void manifest self. The void manifest self is the parent self to the primalite on manifest self. Hail, hail, hail to the void manifest self. Hail, hail, hail to our void, the baby on manifest self. The baby void on manifest self is all the void selves are exploring. Um, only their light is separated from them, but they access their light remotely. Their self-replica, the duality, is exploring the world with the light off. And so the baby self unmanifest is a parent self, so the void manifest self. Hail, hail, hail to our void baby unmanifest self. Hail, hail, hail. Hail to our one true self, the unified non-dual self, our void unmanifest parent self. Our real true self is a void unmanifest self. Void unmanifest is the parent self, so the baby void unmanifest self. Hail, hail, hail to void self unmanifest unified non-dual self. Hail, hail, hail. Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining me. So, we should practice stillness daily to bring our mind down into the void because stillness is how we purify the mind because we were given a replica of the tainted consciousness. And this is the reason why the world is in such turmoil. The minds of all the beings in the world is producing evil within their mind. Evil is produced in your mind from your thoughts, and so this is the reason why everyone in the world right now should be practicing stillness and self-inquiry. You have to still the mind so that you can maintain equanimity within yourself and balance and harmony. So today I am going to talk on the mission self-rescue, what the mission that everyone needs to be on right now. And I am going to read from the book Soul Seed. So let's start out with the journey of the self. The self fragmented itself to become the duality and to explore its creation. The self is all the characters in this dream world to explore from all aspects of the duality. The task while in the dream world is for the self to come awake and to assemble all of its self puzzle fragments back together and dissolve the dream to return to non duality. How do I assemble my self puzzle? This is the question. Dream world. Do you know that you are inside of a dream? Yes. How will you know that you are dreaming if you don't wake up? Because yourself is sleeping and dreaming. The self that is animating the body is sleeping and dreaming. Your real self, the self soul, is the self that is the watcher self, that is waiting for the self that is animating the body to wake up and to come into true realization, to merge back in union with the self soul and to be one unified self. But many ones do not know that this world is a dream and they are inside of a dream and they are actually sleeping. So, how will you know that you are dreaming? If you don't wake up, when you are sleeping and dreaming, do you know it is a dream? Only when you wake up do you know that it was a dream. This also applies to the predicament the self is in. The self is sleeping obscure behind the mind. Ego, the mind avatar, is the one taking precedence over the self. This is why you must wake the baby self up so that it can know that it's in a dream. So that it can know that it's in a dream world and it must connect to all aspects of itself to fulfill its destiny and to exist this dream world awake with conscious awareness. So at the moment, you are exploring the world as the mind being, the avatar, the dream character. Because you enter into the dream, you are playing a dream character. So it's like you're on a movie set. So the world is like the movie set. And on the movie set, you are playing a character. You have entered into the movie and you're playing a character. This character that you're playing is not your real self. You put on a costume to play a character. Just like when you're watching a movie on the screen, you see them playing a character. Okay, I was just testing that microphone. So you see them playing a character, and you want to make sure that the character, because you are playing a character, you want to make sure that you remember that you have to return back to your real self because you are only playing a character. But many ones think that this character, the movie character that they're playing, is their real self. And this is the problem in the world that many ones do not know that they're in a movie. You're in a movie, you're playing a character, and it's time for you to get out of this ego character. Yeah. So this is what's happening. So you're on a mission, self-rescue. Each self goes on a mission to learn about itself in the duality with specification to each individual being. You write out your destiny depending on what you want to learn in about the duality and how you're going to return back to balance in the duality. So, a mission of the greatest importance. The baby self called spirit is enslaved by its mind. The self is longing to be liberated and free. Can you rescue your baby self called the spirit? The first clue is that the baby self, the spirit, is obscure, sleeping behind its mind, the ego. The first clue that the self soul is enslaved by the gods or the deities. And so the second clue is that the supreme teacher is laying dormant within the self soul. So this is why you must have your self soul in the body with you. The self soul, if you want to know how to locate your self soul is located in the void, in the self heart, which is here in your chest. So if you put your left hand and you put your thumbs together and put your right hand on top of your left and put it on your chest, you see that space right there? Then, right, that triangular space, that's where you want to bring your mind down into that void. And this is how you can connect with your self soul in the void. The void will purify your mind and you will rise up yourself, um, supreme teacher within, through stillness and self inquiry, so that the supreme teacher within, its destiny is to pull this ego off of you, this fake avatar, this character that you are playing in the movie. Yeah, you cannot release it by yourself because it's the ego's avatar, and it's very, very hard because the ego does not want to give up this existence. It wants to continue in the dream, and it does not want you to wake up. So this is why you cannot do it yourself. You have to self inquire within yourself, so that the supreme teacher will rise up to do this for you, because the supreme teacher will rise up and pull the ego off, because the supreme teacher is destined to do that. And so the third clue is that the void must be placed between the baby self, the spirit, and its mind. And whose job is it to do this? The supreme teacher within you. So you can call on deities, you can call on gods all you want. They will never be able to do this for you. Only your supreme teacher within you, and it's within your self soul, that can liberate you. So if you put yourself in slavery and in bondage to all the deities and the gods, you will never have this happen for you. And you will think that what I'm saying is crazy and absurd, because that's the message. The ones who are enslaved, their soul is enslaved, and all their mind is being controlled by the consciousness and by all the deities. They're the ones that sending me ridiculous messages and telling me that, I'm going crazy. But they don't know that their mind is the delusional one, and you need to come awake, because your mind is crazy. I know that this consciousness that I have is crazy already. So I don't dwell into the consciousness. I am separated from the consciousness, because I am not this duality. This consciousness is not in its real self either. It think that it is this duality, but it's not either. It too has to return back to its true pure nature, back to non-duality. So this is the mission self-rescue that you want to be on. It's time to awake from the dream. How do I return to non duality? Because right now, everyone is exploring as the duality. And as the duality, your light is turned off. And you are become the mind being, the God being, the dream character. And you are wearing a disguise, and you are cocooned in the magnetic energy of the mind. The mind is looping you in its magnetic energy and in its imagination. And so this is the reason why that you have to rise up and self-inquire within and bring the mind into stillness, because only the void can heal your mind. All sick minds can be healed. The void can heal your mind. This is what stillness does. Stillness is the remedy for the mind. So, Shiva Shambho says, and Shiva Shambho is Osiris, who has evolved into Shiva Shambho. That means that Shiva, Osiris gave up this ego dream character that he was exploring as, and came back into the world as the baby self, as Buddha. So um, two of his self already made the Buddha self. He was the first Buddha, and he was also Buddha Gautama. Is that was his name? Gautama Buddha? Yeah. Yeah. So so this is what everyone in the world have to do. And so he says that because he knows the truth of the being who calls himself Jesus right now, who has been known as Anubis, and who has impersonated, because just like in you how once impersonate movie stars, and they even do plastic surgery to look like them. This is what this being now who's calling himself Jesus, this is what he has done. He has taken Shiva's story. Shiva is Heru, Shiva is Horus. He has taken Horus's story, and he has claimed it as his own, just so he can trick everyone in the world, so that you can give him your soul. And but really, the true Christ is Shiva. And this is why when Shiva was going through the persecution in Kemet, Shiva left Kemet and Shiva went to India. And this is why in India they did not know where Shiva came from, because they were saying Shiva was not born to any one, but Shiva was born to Isis, Auset, which they changed in the Bible and call her Mary Magdalene. That was Shiva's mother, but was really Auset. Shiva and Auset is the same self. Shiva is the masculine aspect, Auset is the feminine aspect, and they share a lifetime in this world together always. They come as family members, mother and father. They come as um and so she came as Shiva's parent, Shiva's mother. And so when Shiva left Kemet because of the persecution and went to India, yeah. So this is why Shiva taught them um yoga and all of these things, because Shiva had released himself from the dream character, and now had returned back to being his real true self. And so this is the truth of what happened. And so the being Anubis, who now plays the role, the character Jesus, is just tricking everyone to get their souls. And so this is why Shiva Shambhu is saying that it's time to stop sucking on Jesus's milk, because he know that the real Jesus is Shiva. And create your own. So if you want to know about the real Jesus, the real Christ, then you would want to know about Heru, which is Horus, and which is now known in the world as Shiva. So so do you want to attain to the state Horus, now evolved to Shiva, the real Christ, and not the fake one Anubis, who impersonates Heru? Buddha Osiris Asar is now Shiva Shambho. Also, the one very famous a very famous self who was in the world that was one of the great um latest great self is Ramana Maharshi. Yeah. And also El Selassie High was also an enlightened being in the world. And now in the world right now um is Auset. And I can tell you also, there are more enlightened beings in the world right now. But the problem is that, like, Sadhguru is an enlightened being. But one of the problem is that when you come and you castrate this ego and you become an enlightened being, um the gods, the deities, them come and they take over you and imprison your soul. And most times This is why so many other gurus them, they are, they get into all of these things that is not balanced, because when the deities them come, when the gods them come, and they come and take over them. And of course they, they tried it, all the deities tried it with me. But because I am in alignment with, I'm in alignment with all of our supreme selves. I'm in alignment with Aten Ra. I'm in alignment with self manifest primal light self. I'm in alignment with um primal light unmanifest. I'm in alignment with the void self manifest. I'm in alignment with the void baby self unmanifest. And I'm in alignment with our true self, the void unmanifest, um, unified non dual self. And so this is the reason why I can speak this truth, and why many of the other ones who came into this realization could not speak it. They had to speak in poems and parables, because the gods and all of the deities then will come and they want your light. And so they imprison the self soul, they swallow your soul. And because because they came to try to do the same thing with me. So what has to happen is that once you become enlightened, you have to merge yourself, spirit back into your soul to be one unified self. And so many ones did not have that happen. Like Sadhguru did not have his soul merging with his spirit. um but Ramana Maharshi, he had that happen. He became a unified self. And so this is the next step for Sadhguru, to have is to be a unified self, where his spirit and soul is unified as one self. And this is what the deities them do, because they want to keep us imprisoned inside of this dream, and they do not want this dream world to end, and they do not want everyone to know that this is what they have been doing for eons. And when all of the great sages who came before us and came into their true realization and returned back to their true self and gave up this ego character, this dream character that is playing in this movie called this duality world, dream world. When you give up this self, you return back to your true self, but you are still fragmented. That your self spirit is still separated from your self soul, and so you have to seek refuge in the self supreme primal light, Aten Ra, because that's the next level up. Because the way that the self works is that we go up the ladder of the selves. And so that's the first primal light self. You have to encounter all of the selves. So what I first encountered was Shiva. Shiva is my masculine self. And then Shiva Shambho, which is Asar. And because they're also they are partial duality. And then it was Supreme Ra, and then it was Aten Ra. Actually, when she came to me, she came as Brahman, because then she was still exploring the world as the mind being, but the non-dual, because she's a feminine aspect, and her masculine aspect is Amen, and Amen has always been trying to enslave her inside of the dream, so she couldn't come into the world as the feminine. She has to disguise herself as the mind being, as the avatar. And so this is how she was exploring the world as the masculine when she was the feminine, because all of the masculine aspect, her masculine aspect, was trying to enslave her in the dream. And this is how she was able to fight them off, you know and keep herself liberated by being Brahman. So she had to take on a masculine form. And so when I first met her, she was having the masculine form. And then after, when she merged with me, she returned back to her feminine self. And 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 now she's merged with me. We are one self, because I am her baby self. And this is how the self, on the supreme levels, the self cannot come into her dream by with her supreme self. This is why we are come into the dream fragmented as the baby self. So at the supreme self level, I am the void unmanifest. I cannot enter into the dream as the void unmanifest. That would be dangerous. So this is why at the self have to make replicas of itself to be the duality, and replicas of itself to to perform certain tasks of the world, and of the duality existence. And so this is why all of us right now are the baby self, a primalite self, the fragmented self. We are also in the world separating ourselves from the masculine aspect. So if you are a masculine aspect in the world, your feminine aspect is separated from you, and it's somewhere in someone in is disembodied, is not in a body, because Shiva is how we have to be, why we have to be on a mission self rescue. Because the self that you are rescuing is within yourself. It's called the spirit. It's fragmented from your self soul. Your self soul is your real self. And so you are exploring the world in the baby self, which is animating the body, and it's in sleeping and in dreaming, obscure behind the mind. The mind is taking precedent, and you're playing the dream character. And so you have to give up this dream character. You have to say, I no longer want to explore this dream duality existence. I no longer want to explore it as this dream character, you know, as this movie star. I want to give up this guise that I'm wearing, take off the costumes, and I just want to return to being my real true self. And so, through stillness and self inquiry, your supreme teacher will rise up within you. And so, this is what you want to practice: stillness and self inquiry. You want to ask the question, who am I? How did I come into being? And always keep your hands on your self heart. Who am I? Bow your head down into the void. Who am I? How did I come into being? What is the truth of my existence? And then you just go into stillness, and then you practice the vibration. So the first vibration you want to practice is and then you can just spiral the energy that's around your body to create a force shield to break up the magnetic energy. So let's try that again. The next vibration you want to practice is And so the third vibration you want to practice is awesome. Awesome. And so, yeah, you want to practice these vibrations because it breaks up the magnetic energy around you and will help you so that you can, the supreme teacher within can rise up to pull this ego off of you. So, I want to thank you for joining me. Um, what is required on the journey to true self? You must come to self realization, must practice stillness and self inquiry. You must take self responsibility because you have to run your distance. No one can do it for you. I know that you have been programmed by the mind to believe this, but it is not true. Your mind is delusional, and your mind is telling you many stories and many things that is not true. You must have self confidence. You must have faith in yourself that you are the self supreme and you have entered inside of your own dream as this fragmented self. You must come into that realization and have confidence in yourself. You must have self love. You must devote your time and energy to liberating yourself from this prison. We are inside of a prison, y'all. This duality world is a prison. And so I am going to just, I usually do this to music, but let me see if I can find the music. So, we want to just be doing stillness daily. Self-inquire within yourself. Just stay in stillness. So we can even just practice the first vibration right now. Hail, hail, hail to the primal lights, hail to the true lights, hail, hail, hail to the transparent light, hail to the light without beginning nor end. Hail, 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 hail to the primal lights. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am in command of the commandment command. I am in command of the commandment command. Mind be still, be still, be still and know that I am in command. Mind be still, be still. From where does this thought arise? From where does this thought arise? Mind be still, be still. Mind be still. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I am in command of the commandment command. I am in command of the commandment command. Yeah, I am Primalite taking this form. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this ego dream character. This mind avatar, mind. This God being, mind. Where is yourself? In bondage, you put it in hell. False I, you are the mind, and I am the self. Mind, be still, be still. Be still and know that I am in command. I am protected and nothing can harm me. I am void, unmanifest. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I am void, unmanifest. I self-realize all is myself, I alone exist. I am the manifest supreme self. I am confident, unafraid, undisturbed, unmoving. I am stabilized in myself, the unmanifest. I am the ultimate truth. I am the absolute. I am the eternal self. I am the void, unmanifest. I am one with all. I am formless, fearless, deathless, timeless, limitless, boundless. I am formless, pure, luminous consciousness. I am primal light. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. All things created must come to an end. And everything that I have created, I demolish. I demolish all demons, all devils, all satans, all duality creation. I demolish them. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I return to my ultimate true state. I transition from being to non-being. I move effortlessly with ease from manifest to the unmanifest. I am one with all. And my soul says, and shine like flame. My soul says, and shine like flame. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I am void, unmanifest. Aten Ra. Primalite, I honor you. I honor you. Void unmanifest, I honor you. I honor you. Void unmanifest, I honor you. I honor you. I I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. All is myself, and I alone exist. And all of myself must return unto me. I am one with all. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this duality. Primal, I honor you. I honor you. Primal, I honor you. I honor you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me today for stillness and self inquiry. Remember to practice stillness daily. Stillness is the remedy for the mind. Because remember that when we came into this duality dream, we were given a replica of the tainted consciousness. And so the consciousness is delusional, it is crazy, it is has a lot of mental sickness it suffers from, it is prone to evil, prone to deception, you name it. This consciousness is prone to it. Negativity. And this is the reason why we must practice stillness, because stillness is the only remedy for the mind. I bow to you in love, in light, and in truth. All is myself, and I alone exist, and all of myself must return back onto me. I am primalite, prepared for the world. I am void, unmanifest, taking this form and this self-identity as the baby self, Aten Ra, with the self-identity as Auset, Aten Ra. I am the liberator, and I advocate for all selves, because many ones do not know that they are inside of a dream. Many ones don't know that they are inside of a dream. Many ones don't know that their real self is their self soul. This is why the mind, they are exploring as the mind character, the dream character, the movie character, and not as their real self. And so they are putting their real self into slavery. And so this is the reason why you must pause the mind, because the mind is the root of all evil. If everyone in the world could know this truth, they could know this one truth. If there was one truth you wanted to know, is that the mind, your mind is the root of all evil, and you should not listen to your mind. But you should bring your mind into stillness and connect with your real self, the soul, and inquire of your soul. Anything you want to know, you ask your soul, it will tell it to you. But if you put your soul in slavery and in bondage, it cannot respond to you and tell you the truth, because it's going to be in dormancy, in stillness, and will not rise up to speak to you. You have to liberate yourself from slavery. Yes. This is the age of knowing yourself. This is the age of truth. Because right now, I have one of the deities on me right now, and it is just beating me up in the head. And it's, this is what they do all these things to punish you. This is why they're always telling you that they're going to put you in hell if you don't give them your soul. When you stand up against them, they try to do this. But I have the Self-Supreme helping me, so I am not afraid. Self-Supreme, void and manifest, is bringing the duality back into non-duality. So this self, because right now the duality, all the duality have to move back into balance. The cosmos, the the um the universe, the the galaxy, the universe, space, the cosmos, the realm, and the world. It's all duality, and it all have to return back. No, the galaxy is moving into balance because it's returning back to non-duality. The next up is space, and so right now, we're working with the space being, and it's like beating me up right now. And so it's moving back into non-duality. All of us within ourselves, that's what we have to do too. So thank you for joining me. Join me at sunrise every morning to greet Supim Ra. She rise up when Aten Ra awakes her to rise up so that we can have light in the world. Um, Supim Ra is the world. Her Geb is the visible world. That's her body, and the invisible world is Amun Ra, which is both of Geb and Amun Ra makes up her body. Geb is the visible world. When we are in the body, we explore this aspect of the world. When we are not in a body, we are exploring in the invisible world. And the invisible world is below the earth. Why you think the scientists, them, the astronauts, they never show you what's below the earth? How come they never show you what's below the earth? Because it's complete darkness. There's Amun Ra down there. This is where you go when you're not in a body, when you go when you are going into sleeping and dreaming, when you go two times in a sleep in a dream. This is where you go in the invisible world. This is when you are sleeping inside of the dream. And this is where you go when you're no longer inside of a body. You just move from the visible world to the invisible world. That's all. There is no death. You're just wearing a body and then you're not wearing a body. But the great thing about wearing a body is that you have the opportunity to come into realization of yourself. When you're not wearing a body, it's hard. You cannot come into realization of yourself because you the mind, the consciousness has entered into a dream twice. While you are in the dream, you go to sleep. You have entered into a dream. Then while you're inside the dream, you are sleeping inside of the dream. And so when you go into the invisible world and you know not in the body, this is what you do. You really just go into a sleep within a sleep, dream within a dream. And so this is why when you're in the body right now, this is the opportunity that you have right now to make use, because this world is moving into balance. This duality is ending. A new balanced world will be created. But this duality dream world have to be dissolved first. So I want to clear this up and clarify this for everyone who think that the duality is going to be built in the non-duality. It is impossible for the non-duality to be built in duality. Duality is ignorance, and it is the worst thing that could happen because your mind is always going to be crazy. So the non-dual cannot build within the duality. We have to return back onto the to Aten Ra and all of the self. So everyone in the world have to return back onto Aten Ra. Then Aten Ra return back onto self Primalite manifest. Self Primalite manifest return into the Primalite unmanifest. Primalite unmanifest return to the void manifest. The void manifest return to the void unmanifest baby self. The void unmanifest baby self return into its parent self, the real true self, the void unmanifest unified non-dual self. And this is the level of how we have to accelerate to ascend into each level of ourself, because we have descended into this lower level here, and so we have to ascend back up to ourself. And so this is what happened. We have to do this, and then once we do that, and this world return back to, like, Geb is a sun, Amun Ra is a sun, the moon is a sun. All of these things that you see, the planets, they're all suns. But because their light is obscure, they become moon and planet. You can create whatever you want to create from them. And so they have to return back to being suns. And then when all of this has happened, this is when the new and balanced world will be created after that. So all of this duality has to close first. There is no need for anyone to be afraid. Self only ones that are afraid is the one that's wearing this ego. You are in the movie, and you think that this movie character that you're playing, because you're wearing the costume, and you think that, you forgot your real self, and you think that the character and the costume that you're wearing is yourself. And so you have to take it off and return back to your real self. And there is no fear. You have to let go of this dream illusionary existence. Yeah, it's time now to see things the way that they actually are, and let go of this dream. You need to return back to your real and true self. Hail, hail to Self Supreme, the void unmanifest. I bow to you in love, in light, and in truth. See you at the next sunrise.